Alexander the Great and the Battle of Gaugamela, a clash of empires. The year was 331 BC. The sun cast long shadows over the dry plains of Mesopotamia as two great armies prepared to clash in what would become one of history's most decisive battles. On one side stood Alexander III of Macedon, a young but brilliant commander whose tactical genius had already shaken the mighty Persian Empire. Opposing him was Darius III, the great king of Persia, ruler of an empire stretching from the Aegean Sea to the Indus River. The upcoming battle at Gaugamela would determine the fate of the ancient world. The road to Gaugamela. For over 3 years, Alexander had been campaigning through Asia, winning a series of stunning victories over Persian forces. His conquest began in 334 BC when he crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor. At the Battle of Granicus, he defeated a Persian satrapal army, securing a foothold in Persian territory. A year later, he delivered a crushing blow to Darius at the Battle of Issus, forcing the Persian king to flee. With the Levant and Egypt under his control, Alexander set his sights on the heart of the Persian Empire, Mesopotamia. Darius, having learned from his mistakes, was determined to stop Alexander once and for all. He amassed a massive army, reportedly numbering between 100,000 and 250,000 soldiers, though ancient sources often exaggerated these figures. The force was a formidable mix of Persian cavalry, Greek mercenaries, Indian war elephants, and the elite immortals. He chose the plains of Gaugamela for the battle, a location that suited his numerically superior force. Unlike the mountainous terrain of Issus, these open plains would allow Darius to use his cavalry and chariots effectively. The night before the battle, as night fell on September 30th, Alexander's army, vastly outnumbered, rested. He commanded approximately 47,000 men, a disciplined and battle-hardened force composed of Macedonian phalanxes, Thessalian cavalry, and Greek hoplites. His men had marched thousands of miles, defeating every foe they encountered, and morale was high. The story goes that while Alexander's officers anxiously discussed battle plans, he slept soundly in his tent. When Parmenion, his trusted general, expressed concern about the sheer size of the Persian army, Alexander reportedly replied, "I am not afraid of a multitude of sheep led by a lion, but I do fear a multitude of lions led by a sheep." His confidence was unshakable. The battle begins. As dawn broke on October 1st, 331 BC, Alexander's army assembled in a strategic formation. He placed his cavalry on the flanks, his elite companion cavalry under his direct command on the right, while the center was held by his powerful phalanxes. On the Persian side, Darius positioned himself in the center, surrounded by his personal guards and war chariots. His strategy was clear: overwhelm Alexander through sheer numbers and encircle his army. The battle commenced when Darius sent his scythed chariots charging toward Alexander's lines. These deadly vehicles, equipped with spinning blades on their wheels, were meant to slice through enemy ranks. However, Alexander's men had anticipated this. As the chariots approached, they stepped aside, creating gaps through which the chariots passed harmlessly, only to be picked off by javelins and archers. Darius then launched his main assault. Persian cavalry attacked Alexander's flanks, while his Greek mercenaries pressed against the Macedonian phalanx. The battle raged fiercely, dust rising into the air as thousands of men clashed in brutal combat. Alexander's decisive maneuver. In the midst of the chaos, Alexander saw his opportunity. He had noticed a gap forming in the Persian center as Darius's forces focused on attacking his flanks. With lightning speed, Alexander led his companion cavalry in a diagonal charge, piercing through the Persian line. His men rode with unmatched ferocity, cutting down Persian guards and driving straight toward Darius. Seeing the Macedonian king charging toward him, Darius lost his nerve. Just as he had at Issus, he turned his chariot and fled the battlefield. The sight of their king retreating shattered Persian morale. The once mighty army crumbled, with many fleeing while others were cut down by pursuing Macedonians. The aftermath. The Battle of Gaugamela was a decisive victory for Alexander. The Persian losses were catastrophic, with thousands killed and many more captured. Darius fled eastward, but his reign was effectively over. Within a year, he would be betrayed and assassinated by his own satrap, Bessus. With no true ruler left to oppose him, Alexander marched unopposed into the Persian capitals of Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, effectively bringing the Achaemenid Empire to an end. Alexander's victory at Gaugamela solidified his reputation as one of history's greatest military commanders. His ability to outmaneuver a vastly superior force through tactical brilliance and bold leadership remains a case study in warfare. But his ambitions did not stop there. He would continue his conquests, pushing further east into Central Asia and India, forever altering the course of history. Conclusion. The Battle of Gaugamela was more than just a military engagement. It was a turning point in world history. It marked the fall of the Persian Empire and the rise of Hellenistic civilization, spreading Greek culture and ideas across Asia. Alexander's legacy would endure long after his untimely death in 323 BC, influencing countless leaders and military strategists throughout the centuries. The lion had conquered the empire of the great kings, and history would never be the same.